Hello, I'm Umbrenero, and welcome back to Umbrenero's Life. Today's video is my April 2024 plan with me. For the month of April, I decided to go with a Pokemon theme for my journal. So in the past, I have actually done different Pokemon typings for every journal layout, but I just wanted to go with the general Pokemon theme. So, to make it very easy for my monthly calendar page, I decided to go with a giant Pokeball on the page. What better way to do it than keep it simple? So, like I usually do, I started by sketching out everything. And then I had to include my little header, which is very similar to the actual font from some of the earlier games, which is kind of what I wanted. Then I had to start putting in all of the color. And I decided to go with a classic regular old Pokeball for the ball on the cover page. And at this moment, I realized I made a mistake because I did not want that to be black around the gray button. So I tried to cover it up with a white chalk pen I had, but it didn't quite work. But I just went with the flow and left that mistake in. Quickly added my key and started to get the colors all together. So for the colors, I wanted to do something that made sense with a Pokemon theme. So I used the colors of the various balls in the game. So a lot of very obvious colors. But I had to throw in a different color that didn't really add in as much sense because I needed an eighth color that wasn't black or very, very dark gray. So I had to do something. But it was easy. Then, for my monthly log, I wanted to go all the way back to the original games. So, in the old red and blue games, your boxes you had to exchange manually when they ran out of space. So, I decided for April, my monthly log was going to be box 1 and box 2. And once box 1 was full, box 2 was going to get items put there. And then to bring over a little bit of decoration, I decided to add a bunch of little Pokeballs across the, not quite top of the page, but along the top, just below my header, just to add a small little pop of color. And yes, I tried to get the balls to match as closely as I could to the actual balls, and drawing them that small was a little difficult. But it gave me a little bits of color. So when I got to the habit tracker, I wanted to keep with the Pokeball theme. So I decided I was going to do a round habit tracker and have a Pokeball right in the center. Partially, I wanted the Pokeball in the center to make up for the mistake I made on my monthly calendar, but that's besides the point. So I got to drawing out all of my line work after I glued in my header, and this took a bit to do. Getting all of these lines drawn in. Yes, they're not perfect, but they'll work. I did some quick labeling of the circle, and yes, I didn't start on the first again, but that happens with me quite a bit. But that just is what it is. So I decided I needed to add a little bit more to this page. So I decided to draw different parts of Pokemon on the page to just kind of give little splashes of color that aren't just that of the Pokeball. So in the corner there, I drew either Blastoise or Squirtle's tail. And then I did a Charmander or Charizard tail. I can't remember which off the top of my head. But I wanted to add little things of color throughout here, and this just worked the best. And then was coloring in the Pokeball and not making a mistake again. So the next page was my goals and things. And this was a very simple page because all it was gluing in my header and adding a couple Pokemon shaped items. So first one I did was a quick little Eevee tail, which probably one of the easiest ones to do. Well, one of the easiest. And yes, when I traced out my Eevee's tail there, I realized I should probably trace out the Charizard Charmander tail. Then was Lugia's tail. I just felt that it would make sense. And then I did the crest on Suicune's head for another pop of color that's not exactly the same thing as all the others. But I still had space to keep track of things and goals that I wanted to accomplish for the month. My content plan was another month where I was unsure of fully how I wanted to utilize it. So I glued in my header, and then I got right to the couple little Pokemon elements I wanted to bring through here. And that was the tail of Rayquaza and Lunala's little crest that's on its head. I thought, this brings a little bit of color here. I'm not sure what I want on this page otherwise, and this is at least something. So, for my weekly log, I actually had a plan for how I wanted to do everything this month. And I will say right now, this took me a while, but I was able to utilize everything I wanted to. So, I divided each page into 3 sections for my daily portions. Yes, I still call this my weekly log because every week is when I would update it and add things that were coming and all of that fun stuff. But for the labels for my weekly log, I went ahead and made up little cartridges, I'll call them, of all of the Pokemon main series games, kind of in the color of the game. So every generation was somewhat the color that it should be. So the little thing I was doing off camera was putting glue on the red cartridge, putting glue on the blue, green, yellow, all of them. And this took a while. But this first page was helping me figure out the order I wanted to set up each of these boxes. Because once I had the cartridges in, I wanted a little area where I could jot messages for myself down. So like, hey, this happened today, or things to just think about. So, I had to do all of those little lines, and I did that before I even went on to the next one. So, I continued with the lines, and this took a while, but it could have been a lot worse. And instead of going back and forth of gluing, drawing, I decided to go through, draw all of these lines, keep everything similar, so that way I didn't have to worry about going back later and trying to figure it out. I'm going through looking back at this while I am recording my voiceover here. And I'm just looking, going, okay, that's this game. what game is this? Just trying to figure out what was what. Because I'm getting to a spot where it's like, okay, this was this generation, but what game is this? And did I actually print them out of order or whatnot? All I know is I went and got everything I could together so that way I could get this done. It took a lot of time when I wasn't recording to have things ready. I did get to a point where I just wanted all the lines done, so I got them done so I could just start sticking my little cartridge dates in. See, now I'm remembering the order here. I'm just watching this going, oh wait, that's right. This game was after this one. And it's the little things that amuse me some days. Yeah, there were a couple of the main series remakes I did skip because that would have made way too many of my little cartridges, but I included ones that made sense. So, my reflection was very straightforward for April. This kind of... it could have been more PC-like the computer from the game, but I just decided to make it boxy. And I had to glue in my header and my little prompts for my reflection that I usually use. And I did quick lines. I didn't measure. I just went with the flow and let things end up where they did. Which, that's why I do quite a bit. It's not always a bad thing. It's not always a good thing either, though. I do have to say this is a theme I did enjoy, even with the mistake I made right away. But it's something that I can go back and easily improve upon. So that makes me want to use this again. So thank you for watching, and until next time, I am Umbrenero. Bye!